Throughout history, powerful empires have risen and powerful empires have fallen. But behind every major shift in world history, one question has echoed through generations. Who truly shapes the future of the world? The phrase New World Order has become one of the most controversial expressions of the modern era. To some, it represents international cooperation and a vision for global peace. To others, it has become associated with fears of centralized power and global control. Over the years, countless books, documentaries, speeches, and online discussions have transformed these three words into one of the most debated ideas in modern history. But where did this phrase actually come from? Was it born in secret meetings behind closed doors? Or was it spoken openly on the world's biggest political stage? The answer may surprise you. In this chapter, we'll trace the documented history of the phrase New World Order, explore how its meaning evolved over time, and examine why it continues to generate so much discussion today. We'll separate historical records from later interpretations, so you can understand how this narrative developed. Because sometimes, understanding history is the key to understanding the present. At the beginning of the 20th century, the world looked very different. Europe controlled vast colonial empires. The United States was emerging as a global economic power. New technologies were transforming industry, transportation, and communication. But beneath this progress, tension was growing. Military alliances divided Europe into rival camps. Competition for resources intensified. Nationalism spread across the continent. And in 1914, a single assassination triggered one of the deadliest conflicts humanity had ever witnessed. World War I. For 4 devastating years, millions of soldiers fought across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and beyond. Entire cities were destroyed, economies collapsed, and millions of civilians lost their lives. By the time the war ended in 1918, the political map of the world had changed forever. The German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian empires had either collapsed or been dramatically transformed. Leaders around the world realized that another global conflict on this scale could threaten the future of civilization itself. Many politicians and diplomats believed the world needed a completely new approach to international cooperation. Instead of relying only on military alliances, they proposed creating organizations where nations could resolve disputes through negotiation rather than war. One of the earliest and most ambitious attempts was the League of Nations, established after World War I. Its goal was simple but revolutionary: encourage diplomacy, reduce conflict, and prevent another catastrophic global war. Although the League ultimately failed to stop future aggression, it introduced an important idea that global challenges might require cooperation. For some historians, this marked one of the earliest steps toward discussions about a new international order. But history had another lesson waiting. The world was about to face an even greater catastrophe. The end of the First World War was supposed to mark the beginning of a new era of peace. World leaders hoped that the devastation they had witnessed would never be repeated. The League of Nations had been created with the ambitious goal of resolving international disputes through diplomacy instead of war. But the challenges facing the world were far greater than anyone had imagined. Economic instability spread across continents. Political extremism began to rise, and millions of people struggled through the hardships of the Great Depression. As trust between nations weakened, aggressive governments expanded their military power, and once again the world moved toward conflict. The promise of lasting peace was slowly fading, while the possibility of another global war became increasingly difficult to ignore. In 1939, those fears became reality as World War II erupted across Europe before rapidly expanding into Asia, Africa, and the Pacific. Unlike any conflict before it, this war reached nearly every corner of the globe. Entire cities were reduced to rubble, economies collapsed, and countless families were separated. More than 70 million people lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest conflicts. By 1945, much of Europe lay in ruins. 2 atomic bombs had changed warfare forever, and the world faced a critical question: how could humanity prevent another catastrophe of this scale? Leaders from dozens of nations came together to design a stronger system. Later that same year, the United Nations was established with the mission of promoting peace, encouraging dialogue, and supporting humanitarian efforts. Unlike the League of Nations, the UN was given broader responsibilities and a more structured framework for international cooperation. For many governments, it represented hope that diplomacy could succeed where war had failed, marking a new chapter in global relations. Political leaders and diplomats often spoke about building a new international order, a way of describing the changing balance of global politics. The phrase appeared in speeches and policy discussions, referring to a future shaped by cooperation, collective security, and international institutions. At this stage, the term had not yet acquired controversial meanings. It was primarily used to rebuild a world shattered by destruction. However, peace did not bring an end to global rivalry. As World War II concluded, two new superpowers emerged, the US and the Soviet Union. Their political systems and visions for the future were fundamentally different, marking the beginning of the Cold War. This was a decades-long period of geopolitical tension characterized by nuclear competition, espionage, and proxy wars across multiple continents. While the world avoided direct military confrontation between the two superpowers, fear and uncertainty shaped international politics for generations. During the Cold War, the idea of a changing global order continued to evolve. New alliances were formed and international organizations expanded. The world was becoming more connected than ever before through trade, technology, communication, and diplomacy. These developments encouraged leaders to speak about the need for a cooperative system to address challenges no single nation could solve alone. At the same time, growing institutions sparked debates about national sovereignty and the balance between cooperation and independence. By the late 20th century, the phrase New World Order was about to enter the global spotlight through a widely watched political speech. A speech that would transform three ordinary words into one of the most debated phrases of the modern era, continuing even today.
By the beginning of the 21st century, the world had entered a new age, an age where information could travel across the planet in seconds. People no longer depended solely on traditional media. The internet transformed communication, allowing billions to publish opinions and share research globally. For the first time in history, almost anyone with an internet connection could become both a consumer and a creator of information. This access changed views on politics and history. Archives and breaking news became available to ordinary citizens with just a few clicks. Simultaneously, rumors could spread just as quickly, making it vital to distinguish documented facts from unverified assertions. Interest in geopolitics grew, and the phrase New World Order reached a wider audience through books, podcasts, and online videos. While some focused on policy, others presented interpretations far beyond evidence, making the topic widely debated across the internet. Major global events like financial crises and pandemics led many to ask difficult questions about how the modern world functions. Discussions on national sovereignty and global cooperation remain active today, continuing to shape public debate across many countries. Psychologists note that during uncertainty, people naturally search for patterns and connections to make sense of rapidly changing events. However, recognizing patterns doesn't prove a common cause. Experts emphasize verifying sources and considering multiple perspectives before reaching conclusions. The digital age makes information accessible, but critical thinking has become an essential skill for anyone seeking to understand the modern world. Today, the New World Order represents different ideas, from changing international relationships to broader narratives about power and governance. Regardless of perspective, understanding the history behind the phrase provides valuable context for the influential public conversations of our time.
After more than a century of wars, political transformation, technological revolutions, and globalization, the phrase New World Order has become one of the most recognized and most debated expressions in modern history. Yet despite its popularity, one important question remains. What do we actually know from the historical record, and where do interpretation and speculation begin? Understanding this distinction is essential, because history is built on evidence, while interpretations can vary from person to person. The documented history is relatively clear. The phrase New World Order has appeared publicly in speeches, diplomatic discussions, and academic writing. Leaders have used it to describe significant shifts in international relations following major global events such as the two world wars and the end of the Cold War. Historians focus on how changes in diplomacy and international institutions shaped global politics. One of the reasons this topic continues to generate so much interest is that history itself is rarely simple. Major world events are shaped by countless economic, political, cultural, and technological factors occurring at the same time. The rise of digital media has made this challenge even greater. Reliable historical research depends on primary documents and transparent evidence. Understanding the documented history behind the phrase allows us to separate established facts from later interpretations. History is not merely a collection of dates and events. It is an ongoing conversation between the past and the present. If this documentary challenged the way you think, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Eye of Providence. Share it with others who enjoy exploring the stories behind history's most fascinating mysteries.